What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. My name is Nick. It is so good to see you. And for the very first time ever, we have the McLaren on top of my lift. I bought this lift so we could stack the R8 and the M3 on top of each other, but obviously those cars are gone. And now I just put all of these parts down here. Today we're going to do a oil change on the Mclaren 720S here. The very first one that I've done. I hope everything looks good. I hope the oil looks clear, but we're gonna do a little tutorial for you. And today I have my good friend Mario here. You've seen him on the channel before. He's gonna help me out. We're hanging out. It's a good Friday afternoon. One tip of advice that I would suggest is to put the wing down before you put it on the lift, because now I'm gonna have to be extra careful and lean over the wing. It's not a big problem because I'm a little taller. For somebody who is a little shorter, it might be a little tougher. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is, after you get on your lift, 2-post or 4-post, I'm using the 4-post obviously, you're gonna wanna take out screws here and here, and then this piece will pop up. Now that piece comes out of the way. The 2 bolts that hold this and this on, those ones are actually a number 4 Apex or number 4 Allen, depending on where you come from. That might be what you call it. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna access the oil filter. And that oil filter is under this beauty cover here. And while you have it out, you might as well clean it. I wouldn't say it's hard to get in there, but it's not the most accessible piece. So while you have it out, give it a little clean. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take off of these 4 bolts right here, holding this piece on, and you're gonna do that with a T25. All right, so once you guys have this plate out, what we're gonna do, once you guys have this plate off, what you're gonna do is we're gonna open up the oil filter cap right here, and we're gonna take that off using a 36mm wrench, or if you don't have that, use a crescent wrench. And we're doing all of this just to vent the whole system to make the oil come out faster. While we have all this out, we can actually see the downpipes in the car, and they're heat wrapped right here, and you can see them right down in there. And man, that's really cool to see, because I knew that the car had them, but I've never seen them because I didn't install them myself. And then you can see right here on the other side. This car, you can't actually see too much in here, but you can see the intake manifold and the throttle bodies on each side. But right now, our main focus is the oil filter cap, getting that taken off just enough so we can vent the system. All right, so it's not necessary to take the entire cap off, just enough so we can get some air in the system. So it's not necessary to take off the entire cap at this time like I did. You can just crack it a little bit and get some air in the system. That's all you're looking to do at this time. All right, so now at this point, what you wanna do is, if you have a lift, bring her on up, and if you don't, if you're doing this on jack stands, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to scurry on down underneath the car now. So we have the car in the air, and as you can see, it's not all the way up. I can't stand unless I do one of those power stances, and even then, I'm still too tall for that. That's why you need this tool right here, an old office chair. Just get in it and just cruise on under. And now I can work underneath here and get to whatever I want. You're gonna use a 10mm socket, and if you have one of these handy dandy screw guns or an electric ratchet, that's what you're gonna wanna pull out and use right now. And if you don't have that, it's gonna be a lot of hand turning. What we're doing is taking off this panel right here. Okay, so now we have the panel off, and things are actually looking pretty good in here. Everything's pretty clean. So what you're gonna wanna do now is start to drain this car. You have a drain plug here, which is a T50. You wanna drain this turbo line, which is 8mm, this turbo line, which is 8mm. You can do all 3 of these at the same time, and then you're gonna wanna drain the sump. You don't have to drain the sump last, but that's what we're gonna do. And this plug right here is a 19mm. Whoopsies. And with the assist from Mario, he is taking out the last 8mm bolt for the turbo lines. And once we get those out, we're gonna pull both oil lines and we're gonna let them drain for a bit. Woo! Got the waterworks. Try not to make a mess like I am. And I know what you guys are saying right now. Why do you have to pull both sides. You can see that it goes across. Why can't we just pull the one side? I actually don't know that. If you look at what McLaren says to do, they say to pull both lines, and that's what we're gonna do. While this is draining, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of time and I'm gonna get a rag and I'm gonna clean up all the little spots down here so I can ensure that everything down here is clean. You probably don't have to do that, but I really do enjoy this car and I love this car a lot, so I'm gonna take care of it like it's my kid, and that's what I wanna do. We can make sure to keep it clean so the next time we have to get in here, it'll be clean, or we just have to wipe it up just a little bit. Then the next owner knows that they have a car that was well taken care of. Okay guys, so after you guys get done draining, you wanna make sure to replace the crush washer here, replace this O-rings on both sides of these turbo lines. And so it's very important for you to torque these to the right spec, and this is gonna be 24 Newton meters or 17.7 foot-pounds. So on your turbo oil drain lines, these are gonna be 10 Newton meters or 7 foot-pounds. So we got this makeshift cardboard right here. We don't want the sump to actually drain all over the lift, so hopefully this doesn't make a mess. All right, so we got the sump drained, we got our crush washer replaced, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually torque this to 17 Newton meters or 13 foot-pounds. What do you wanna do underneath? Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna wipe down all of this right now since we have the panel off, and then I'm gonna bring the car down. I'm gonna refill the engine oil, and after we do our checks and everything, I'll bring the car back up, make sure everything's good, it's not leaking, and then I'll put the panel on. I know that other people will put the panel on just right now, but I just wanna make sure that nothing is leaking underneath here. Okay guys, so we got our new filter. We put the new O-rings here, and we're gonna pop this in here and then we're gonna torque it. So now we're gonna torque the oil filter. That's gonna be 18 foot-pounds or 24 Newton meters. Cool. One thing when you're going to fill this car up, I want to let you know. What you need to do is you need to add 5 quarts of oil to the car, start it up for 15 to 20 seconds, shut it down, then add 1.5 to 2 quarts, and then you're going to start doing your checks on the car. It's from a McLaren mechanic. I'm not going to say who because they're helping me out. They're not really supposed to give away some of the trade secrets, but the way this engine is designed, if you add, let's say 7.5 quarts to it or more, what could happen, even though the car calls for 9.5 quarts according to the manual, you could put oil into the intake and then your car will smoke. So that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is add the 5 quarts, then start the car for 15 to 20 seconds, then add 2 more quarts, then do your checks. So please, just keep all that in mind. You don't want your car to smoke or anything. Don't be alarmed. This is the correct way to do it according to McLaren techs as of May 2023. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check the oil levels. But you can't just check the oil levels at a normal temperature, like we're like a dipstick, like I just said. But the way you check the oil levels, you're gonna have to start the car. Oil. So once you get here, you want to do conditions not met. What you're gonna have to do is hit brake, and then you're gonna hit the throttle. That's gonna bring your engine temperature to 194 degrees. It will not check the oil temperature unless the car is at 194 degrees. So you can see I'm full throttle, full brake, and it's going to do this until the car gets to 194 degrees, but I'm not gonna make you guys wait through that. All right, guys, so I went ahead and put the panel back on. When you guys go to do this, you guys wanna make sure that you put these screws on here in the front, and those will be your shorter screws. Everything else will be the longer screws, and the wider diameter bolts will be these two screws here on this side, these two, and then this one and this one on that side. And those will still be 10mm bolts, but they'll just be slightly thicker. They won't fit in anywhere else. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and replace, put everything back onto the back of the car, and then we're gonna go take it for a spin. I feel like it's a little bit redundant to be talk about putting that stuff back on the back. If you're attempting this job, I'm sure that you're well qualified enough to put that stuff back on there. A very special thanks to my friend Mario here for helping me out and hanging out for the night. If you guys want to see more of Mario and his best friend Martin on what they do on their channel, check out M&M Car Shepherds, and a link to their channel will be in the description below. I really hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys like this video, hit that like button below, smash it if that's something you want to do. Subscribe if you already haven't. We're going to see you guys in the next video. Stay free, my friends.